James Harvin, if we bench Fields after going 4-2, I would not blame him for exploring options this offseason.
I mean, he's a professional. And I encourage you to do that anyways, man. Just because they still ain't told you that they love you yet. They've been saying Russ QB1 for how long now? So there is nothing wrong with exploring your options. There's nothing wrong with that at all, man. But at the same time, if you're the Steelers, you're not fretting that either, because we know that number one is free agency, is trades, and number two, you got the draft. So that's part of the Kenny convo. Is like, man, we don't have to fear you leaving. There are plenty of people that want to play quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, can we find that guy? That's going to be the question. And is your play going to be that much better than who we bring in here? That, waits to be seen and stuff like that. But I don't think for the Steelers, they have to feel like spooked out about making a decision one way or the other if Fields is going to explore his options in the offseason. I don't think that should make them hesitant on the decision. But that could also just be how I look at it, man.
I think you're right. I think that's how they handled bringing in Russ, too.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have been walking on eggshells about hurting Kenny's feelings for bringing in Russ on $1 million contract to be the competition. We said at the beginning of the offseason, we're going to bring competition in.
Mm-hmm. What they said, Russ became volunteers, not hostages, man.
Yeah, and Russ became available, and just flat out, that's objectively a good move to bring Russell Wilson here on $1 million contract. Whether or not I felt
you got your roster better.
Going back to that time period, I was like, I don't think we need to go out of our way to bring anyone in.
Yeah.
I think we could roll with Kenny Mason, have that quarterback competition. I think they'll be better with a new offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Kenny going into year 3. We saw what Mason did at the end of the season. I think we could have a good quarterback situation with those two. But Russ being available for $1 million and it being Russell Wilson, it's objectively a good move. Like you said, it makes your team better one way or another. That was the direction the Steelers went.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had to walk on eggshells and worry about Kenny's feelings because Kenny left the door open. So, I mean, it's a similar conversation here. You shouldn't be concerned about how Justin Fields is going to necessarily feel about putting in Russ after he's 4-2, because I think Fields would even admit to himself, he could have played better during the stretch. I don't think he officially closed the door or anything. And I think it all depends on how you want to grade him. If you're grading Fields on coming in here being 4-2 and he's viewed as the backup, then he was an A+.
I would agree.
Really impressive. But
I don't think we don't look at him like that, though.
Because the conversation right now is, do we stick with Fields? Is he our starter for the rest of for the season? And if you're grading on that curve, then all right, maybe we're talking
I like
B+.
how you broke that down like that, bro.
Yeah, we're talking B+. Because if you want to, if you want to coddle Fields and say bro, yeah, we're 4-2, we've won games with you and everything, it's all good, then okay, I think you're viewing him as a backup in that scenario. But if you want to be harsh and okay, the offense could be better in these moments and you could be better in these moments, because we're viewing you as a starter. We're viewing you a guy potentially for the future.
We've been getting on GP about certain things. It's not because we don't think he's capable. It's no, we think that you can do that. We don't want to minimize your talent to just this level of evaluation and this level of expectation. We think you can be an elite player.
So the grade I'd give for Fields, if we're talking about him being the answer, the starter, would be a B+. So is that good enough? It goes back to what we were saying. Is that good enough to keep rolling with him? I think so, but does that open up the door for putting in a Russ over you and being curious if a Russ offense could be better? I think that's a fair assessment as well.
Yep.
I say roll with Fields, though. Let it ride.
I said, man, ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
Let it ride.
I'm excited.
Let's see if that B+ can get to an A-.
I'm excited to see how Coach T
Let's
plays
see if that B+
man.
can get to an A.
I just want to see how Coach T plays it, man.
Hannibal 190, love the pod, loving the win. The questions I have is, how would the locker room feel with a quarterback change with a 4-2 record? Shout out to the chat fam.
From personal experience, I would just say that you look at it and you say, who gives you the best opportunity to win? A lot of dudes are still going to believe in Russ, regardless of what fans and media are going to influence you to believe. When you played in this league and you've seen how hard it is to win and to let alone win a Super Bowl, it's a reason why TJ, Cam, and a good amount of Pittsburgh Steelers were recruiting Russell Wilson to come join the Pittsburgh Steelers. They would not be tripping.
I think
they'd
respect Tomlin's decision.
Yeah, they're not going to trip on that. It's different because it is Russell Wilson. I think with this scenario, we still like to treat it as if we're talking about a non-proven or young or just different caliber quarterback. We're talking about a Super Bowl champion, a guy that has had a ton of success in this league for a long time. The dudes are going to respect it. Now, he would still have to actually live up to that, and I think that that's a different part of the convo, because it's not going to be that week one. Now, you hope it is. You hope he hits the ground running, but you still have to operate as a professional. We say, yeah, man, you're going to have some rust. That was part of why I say, yo, you might give them the first two, get to the bye, and now let's get it going, because when you haven't been playing, it is hard to stay nice at football. Now, granted, this is 6 weeks. We're not talking about him sitting out for 2 years, but that is this game. So with that, man, I just think that for Russ, I'm down to see it. I'm down to see it, man. He's done this for a while. So as a player, you're going to be open to that idea. You also know this. What were the reports last week about Russ being in practice? He's going against the starting defense and he's lighting it up. They didn't say, oh, Russ is out there going to start defense and he stinks. They ain't say he's looking bad out here. They ain't say defense having their way with him. Nah, that ain't what they said. So, once again, as a player, you're going to respect what you are seeing as well. And I just don't think that it's going to have this ultra negative impact. But you also trust Coach Tomlin, because just like Russ, Coach Tomlin has done this and done it for such a long time at such a high level that you have infinite confidence and trust in his decision making. And with that, you say, hey, man, if we're going with Justin Fields because Coach said we're going with Justin Fields, well, we're going to run through that wall for Justin. If Coach T say we riding with Russ because Russ gives us the best chance to win, well, guess what? We're going to ride with Russ. It's that simple, man. But that's just how Coach Tomlin operates from my personal experiences with him. Above Deke's head, y'all do see this nice, shiny logo from DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook. Today's show is officially brought to you by DraftKings, only the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. We know they are safe, secure, and the thing that I love the most is they are reliable. And like we always say, man, whenever we're going to talk about any company, we got to have something for you. All right. So for the new customers out there, you download that app, you make your initial bet $5. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets instantly with the promo code MOATS. It's a simple concept, man. And I mean, they got a lot of cool things going on in terms of opportunities to potentially win more earnings, man, when you talk about some of their anytime scoring prop bets and things along that nature. But we also understand that sometimes you get lost in the sauce and it could be a little bit rough on you. You might develop what we call a gambling problem. And if you're in New York, it's a number that you can text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER.